Hi guys, my name is Tony Matthews, and for my research case study presentation, I am choosing to cover the negotiation with the artist formerly known as Prince and his label Warner Brothers. So, with that being said, this is where the issue arose. It's basically over the master recording rights. So, with those not familiar, your master recording rights are basically your rights to a recording. And as a artist or a songwriter, this could be very, very important. It's basically the right to sell, distribute, or do whatever what you want to do with your music. And Prince actually, wanted ownership of his master rights. However, the label also wanted ownership of Prince's master recording rights. So, with this being said, when it comes to the positions, both parties wanted ownership of Prince's master recording rights. In the negotiation, both parties, had hidden interests. With the label, their hidden interest was they saw artists very talented like Prince and saw the opportunity to make millions of dollars actually. So what labels typically do is, they upfront money for whatever the artist needs in the beginning in hopes that they can make more money off of that artist, by owning his master recording rights. So they can get tons of money off of the royalties that Prince will receive off of his master recording rights. Also, a Prince, he wanted to own his master recording rights just in case, he decided to leave the label one day. He would still make money in return off of the music he made, because, with by owning your masters, you basically own the right to your music. So every time his music is featured in a commercial or anything, he will get checks. So, Prince just wanted to, ensure that he will get revenue from his work in the future. So, with that with that being said, this turned into a ugly battle. And both parties did not, exemplify separating the people from the problem. In fact, they actually both used dirty tricks. And we all know that Prince can be a little shady. But yeah, he really, really, really took the cake with this one. Prince went through with, trying to humiliate the label by writing slave on his face because he said he felt like a slave. And, as most artists would, he tried to publicly make a mockery of the label. He used all kind of dirty tricks. He even created music under alias names, so the label wouldn't have the right to own them. He also even changed his name to a symbol. So, I mean, that sounds cool, but, it was used as a dirty trick. And, the label wasn't, nope, they weren't really an angel either. In Prince's contract, he was signed for 4 albums. So, with one of the albums that him and the label created together, the label didn't even, him and the label had a verbal agreement. However, when it came down to it, the label did not count this album towards Prince's, contract release. So, both of them were very petty. So, with all the ill feelings going on, ultimately both parties were able to come to a mutual agreement with the re-release of Prince's greatest hits. And they came to an agreement that both parties would mutually benefit off of this, business endeavor. In conclusion, Prince finally gained the rights to his masters. Woohoo! Yay, Prince! And that basically gave him the autonomy to do whatever he pleased with his own music, which he deserved. And within this negotiation, it's clear that both parties use objective criteria to leverage their own interests. For example, Warner Brothers they use the work for hire clause, basically as a way to keep Prince in his contract. So, which I guess could also be considered a dirty trick. um, you know, in the negotiation, it involved, a lot of negative emotion. These are the things that happened that went bad. In the negotiation, bad things happen and good things happen. One of the bad things that happened was negative emotion. Prince felt like a slave to his contract, making him not wanting to create anything anymore. Sometimes contracts, when somebody else owns you and you're an artist and you don't really have the freedom to be as creative as you want, it could, you know, make you feel down and have a lot of negative backlash. So Prince felt like a slave. His label felt like Prince was making a mockery and a spectacle out of them, publicly humiliating them. And this was a lot of negative feelings involved. In conclusion, an agreement was able to be reached that would allow Prince to own his master and also own, his overall brand name, because, labels typically own that in contracts. Ultimately, agreement was reached where um, both parties could foster a meaning relationship. And this was exemplified in Prince's statement before he died. Prince said that him and Warner would be working fruitfully together. In addition, the CEO of Warner Brothers stated, "Everyone at Warner Brothers Records is delighted to be working with Prince once again. He is one of the world's biggest stars and truly a unique talent. A unique talent." So, with that being said, you know, they they had a meaning relationship before Prince, passed. So, in conclusion, it was good that, out of all of the negative feelings and conflict, they were able to come to a, meaningful, positive outcome. And thank you guys for listening. The end.